All right, and good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to another episode of TXR, a place for gamers to kick back, relax, and pop a cold one to end off your week on the right foot. I am your host, the outerworldly Invader here, and we've got a jam-packed show that's ready to kick into high gear. Joining us tonight, we've got two very special guests. First up, from the RDX podcast, and a very knowledgeable gaming voice, Dealer Gaming. How are you doing, my swashbuckling friend?
I've never swashbuckled anything in my life, but I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you guys doing? I want to say thanks for having me. First, I thought you were talking about Centurion here, but yes, I'm doing great. And of course, for those that are tuning in, maybe share this out somewhere and hit that like button as we get going.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just doing a little Sea of Thieves joke there. But I know, just for the
flashbacks and PTSD and shit. Let's go.
Exactly. All right, next up, as Dealer was alluding to, we've got a guest who was previously on, and he's a real passionate, up-and-coming content creator. Please welcome back Centurion. How are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, and I didn't need the Dealer excitement crack rocks because I am overly excited just to be sitting here with all you guys to discuss gaming.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah, we're happy to have you.
Well, there's a few of us here. Pass it around.
Hey, yeah, check out Centurion's channel if you're tuning in. Check Centurion out. He's got really high quality. The guy is just starting, but man, his quality is already higher than a lot of people in this community. I'll say that.
So I appreciate you saying that.
Shit in on YouTube and give him a
Dealer, you're supposed to corner the market, buddy. You can't give anybody credit. What's wrong with you?
I once you just steal,
you don't want to give anybody your stick or anything.
Well, come on, Tom. You being messy. You being messy already.
I thought Dealer had the golden stick.
Careful now.
Dirt dog.
Hey, there were two legitimate podcasts today. There was Iron Lords and now there's TXR. So it should be a good show.
Ooh.
All right.
Bang, bang. Shots fired.
Yikes.
Very, very nice. All right. Now, panel members, Tim Dog, are you ready to get rock and rolling here with the topics?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready to rock and roll. This is my 15th post podcast in the last 2 days. I'm ready.
We're going long.
Serenity now, Tim. Serenity now.
It's gonna get worse, man.
Megatron, are you ready to transform and roll out into E3 mode?
Yo, I am definitely ready. E3 is right around the corner, and I'm happy to have the two guests we have on today. And it's gonna be a good show. Let's go.
Yeah, the two panel, baby. It's the two panel.
Yeah, the two panel.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting here. And Southie, how's things on the south side, my friend?
The west side. We're in LA, brother. Come on. Nah, you know what? Hey, I'm very happy to be here. It's Sunday night, TXR. Got Dealer up in the pad, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a beautiful thing. E3's next fucking week. Can you feel the electricity in the air? Like I could smell it. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And for all of you that don't know, we have a few members here going to the Fan Fest, going to E3, and I'm sure, who is it? We got Tim Dog, Megatron, and Southbound here. I'm sure you guys are really looking forward to that.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Hey, man, hey, this is Christmas time for me, bro. I literally, I live for this shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, make sure to tell us the nitty gritty when you get back, and all the viewers here. Everybody's gonna be wanting to hear all the stories. But let's see who we got in chat here. We got Shizno Elite. Oh, hey, buddy. I know you're looking forward to today's show. Michael. Hey, Monkey. How you doing, bud? Thanks for showing. We got Post up here. Thanks for coming, bud. Warning Shots. All right, everybody's just filing in. But before we dive into things, guys, remember to share this out and get the good word out about the Emerald Podcast. TXR is the place to be. All right. So going on to our first topic, guys, and really this is an announcement that we've all been waiting for to come to fruition. And a few days ago, Microsoft unveiled the Xbox Game Pass for PC with over 100 games on its platter for gaming on Windows 10, bringing titles from Bethesda, Deep Silver, who do we got here? Paradox Interactive and Sega to the ecosystem, just to name a few. PC subs can also, like, they're also going to be getting Xbox Game Studio games, of course, games like Age of Empires Trilogy and Gears of War 5. And to add to all that, they'll be adding full support for native Win32 games, further bolstering their PC presence and bringing games to Steam, which, you know what, that's a pretty good deal. Now, we haven't heard about any price yet, but we've been told that there will be more information and details coming out at E3. So, guys, again, this is a pretty big announcement ahead of E3. How do you guys feel about this announcement? Is this Microsoft really embracing the ecosystem now?
Yeah, man, share the love. We got Game Pass on PC, we got it on Xbox. It sounds like a good deal to me. Don't know about the pricing yet, but
you know what? I mean, they've been trying to nip at this for a while. They're trying to crack the code, and really it's a big surprise because Epic came through and they opened their store, and it really bit into Steam's mojo. So everyone kind of looked back at Microsoft. Well, how the hell they just step on the scene and make a splash like that? How come you guys can't do it? So I think they had to really look at themselves in the mirror and kind of it's a wake up call. What are they lacking? What are they doing wrong? What do they have to fix to compete?
Well, I mean, it was kind of hard to compete with Steam. Steam just kind of cornered the market, and I don't know, they're just kind of embracing them. Like,
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but me and Tim, we already came to the conclusion earlier that this is bad because more games on more devices, it literally takes 5 points off the Metascore.
Well, definitely, obviously, it's not an exclusive anymore, right?
Yeah, so the game is worse in every single way, and the fact that you have the option to play it more than one place makes that game worse. So just keep that in mind, guys. It's time to revolt and stand up and be a true Xbox fan.
Well, I'm planting the flag firm right here, dealer. I do not want these games going over to PC and Steam and Lord knows what else.
Mm-hmm. Can't be having that. You gotta give them a reason to buy that console that they probably take a loss on. Because all the money's made in the hardware. So I have to explain this a million times. I said this earlier. Like, when these guys are selling you consoles, they don't want to sell you this big expensive car so you can buy the gas that they make money on the gas, not the car, right? The car, they take a loss on the console sometimes. They just need to get it in your house so you can buy all of the games, aka the gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you can play that,
don't forget the rims.
The rims, the sounds. If you can buy that on a PC or a phone or stream that through something you already have, they don't have to put a bunch of money into selling you something, just to make some money on the software. They can kind of have more access to more people, and that's just the way everyone's going, man. That's the point of the whole Microsoft-Sony partnership, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but it's niche, Diller. You can't say that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple people.
Is niche, I'll tell you that.
There's going to be a couple people freaked out now that they're going to consider buying games from the Windows Store.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, the cross buy stays still intact from what I'm gathering too. Correct? Like Gears, once you buy it, say you buy Gears 5 this year, it's going to be you're going to get your free PC game. Correct? Like, we are getting
the PC copy. Anywhere, yeah, isn't that always how it is? Or it's been for the last 3 years?
Yeah, so that's, to me, that's fair. And one of the things I heard, and it's pretty, it's been kind of widely reported, and it looks like it's going to happen, is that with Xbox Ultimate, you're going to basically get Game Pass for PC, basically at additional no cost. Because you're getting the Xbox Live, which is $59 a year, and then you're getting the Xbox Game Pass, which is what, $100. It all equates to $15 a month. If you do it, obviously, if you take that money and do it per month, so $15 per month, basically is going to net you PC Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass, and Xbox Live, and probably has Cloud functionality. I don't know if you guys, are with you, but that's pretty much a great deal if you think about it.
But Tim, now they're saying that you could get some of these games in a humble bundle for $1. Like they're already trying to find ways to shoot this down. Even though most of these people don't play games anyway. Go look at their gamer score. They barely play any games, right? But they're true Xbox fans. So once again, why shoot it in the foot before it's even through the door, out the bag? Like Game Pass was a fraction of as good as it is today when it first launched, right? We can all agree.
And man, just in the last month or two, how big is it? Like exploded.
Exactly, and it's getting bigger. They just revealed some stuff today, right, Tim? And Tim's like,
yeah. Well, what did they tease it? I saw that, but did they tease games or what? Was
yeah,
that
like there's more big announcements coming for Game Pass.
Yeah, I mean they just keep on. They just keep it going. It's pretty much. You're getting, I would say, 3 to 4 games, 3 really solid games a month, and that's every month. You know, they do drop smaller games, in some of the games, but you know, I mean, I've seen some people complain about that, but you always have the option to also buy those games when they're in there.
There's a ton of great games in Game Pass. I mean, they might drop 3 additional AAA games that are like really appealing, but there's the vast majority of the games in there are actually pretty substantial, I would say. Yeah. And think of it this way: you go to the store, or you go build a time machine, go back in time, rent a game for one game for a week for $5 or $10 from a Blockbuster or Redbox, right?
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
those were the days.
Who remembers that? Renting games and stuff, and then if you didn't bring them back, your bill was crazy when you finally did. You're like, man, I could have just bought the game.
I'm just saying, like, a lot of people like that. They try to discredit. These are the same people that were against Game Pass. I don't like this. It's good for me, and I hate that. Right? Like it's a vitamin or something. Like a Flintstones vitamin. I'm just saying that you could go rent 1 or 2 games for $5 or $10 a week, or you can get over 200 for $10 a month, and that includes all the newest stuff that by themselves are $60 at launch, right?
Yeah. And the thing was, too, I was critical at first with Xbox Game Pass because I didn't think that they had enough at first, like enough really high quality titles. But now it's like, they keep putting in more AAA titles, more higher quality indie games. Like I was upset when Saints Row 4 Reelected there got out. I was in the middle of that. I was like, because I don't have time to play all these games that they keep putting in.
But
it's just your backlog looks that much bigger. And, when you look at Game Pass, you're like, oh my god, I'm never gonna have time for all this.
No. I love the discounts that come with the service. Like with some of the online games, we'll use ESO as an example. The discount goes beyond buying the game or the DLC. ESO uses its own form of currency, and you actually get discounts on the currency for actually having Game Pass.
So you're getting discounts on the microtransactions. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they discount everything about the game.
My cousin in the chat, Clarence, he said PC players are going to get access to Xbox games, but are we going to get access to PC games on console? I don't.
You get access to what you pay for, man. And
but you won't be able to play PC games on your console, though.
No, a lot of them you won't, and that's the thing. Like, define like the only Xbox games PC guys are getting access to are the games they already have access to, which is the first party ones from Microsoft and all the multiplats, right? That's been a thing since 2015. Nothing's changed.
Right.
So, I mean, either way, like you get what you pay for. And if you want access to the PC games, you got to pay that $5 more a month and play it on your PC. Like this is the rule. This is just how it is, right?
Did anybody see the leak earlier about someone had screenshotted something about like Forza Motorsport 7 being in Game Pass?
It should have already been there.
Yeah, it should have been there already.
It was?
I said it should have already been there.
Yeah, it should have. I mean, it's just interesting that it's taken forever. So,
Yep.
But they've been, there are a few more first party games that could come over. It takes time. I get it. You can't get everything all at once.
Well,
but
remember, E3 is just a week away. They got to have a splash. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced quite a few more titles for beginning Sunday. Available now.
Well, yeah, but even
they're gonna have a big week, I would think.
Well, South, it's great timing. I mean, every single time this time of year, people freak out like 2 weeks before E3.
Oh yeah, all these fake leaks, and people just go like nuts and beside themselves.
Why aren't they showing us games? E3 is a week away, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Well-
No, they're gonna blow their load before they even enter the building. Come
That's
on,
an interesting way to put that, South.
the load of games.
Yeah,
download,
yeah.
download.
Oh yeah, we will get to the prediction, folks, later on in the show. But guys, it's also amazing too because they listed off like Bethesda, Deep Silver, so some pretty big publishers, but also some smaller ones too, like Devolver, Paradox. They even got Sega in there, So that's a pretty good start for having these partners in. I can just imagine. Who knows? They might even announce some more down the line at E3.
You said it there. Start. That's the keyword. So, like Game Pass, on the console, it's bound to improve substantially.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And again, from where it was before, like it's a fantastic service. Like, of course, improvements all around. I'm all for improving the ecosystem and whatnot. But hopefully this is at a good price. Like Tim said, there has been some leaks about a supposed Xbox Game Pass, like combining it into the Ultimate. We'll have to wait and see, guys. E3 is only about a week away now, so we'll get all the details there.
Game Pass for the win. I'm quiet as hell. Background noise. I'm sorry, but but like it's gonna be a good thing. I was concerned about the quality of the games that are gonna go into Game Pass, but like as you guys already said, the AAA games, all of Microsoft's first party stuff, I don't see how you can go wrong with it. So and now it's going to be on PC, and the more the merrier.
Absolutely.
Well, that's bad, Megatron.
Anybody else have anything to add to that before we move on?
No, sir.
Bueller.
Crickets.
All right. Let's move on to the next topic. What was that, Tim?
I was just saying anyone.
Anyone? Hey, Ubisoft starting a similar service as well. I mean, Centurion did a video on this. So this is going to be a trend.
Plug.
It's going to be a trend that you kind of see going on, right, Centurion?
Oh, definitely a trend, but I'm just confused on why everybody is holding Microsoft at a different standard than other people's services. I looked at other people's services, and so far, Game Pass is the only one I've bought into. I own all the consoles, and Game Pass was the only one that leaped out at me. I adopted Game Pass the day Horizon 4 came out, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
Let me ask you a question, and this is a big one. Why did Game Pass catch your attention? And maybe you can let us know in the chat as well if you're watching. How is that possible if Xbox got no games?
Oh, God. There's plenty of games here.
It's pretty bad.
You're really going to drive that narrative there, dealer. What's wrong with you?
I got to double down on it. There's always been a double standard, Centurion, and it's gotten a little less ridiculous, but since 2013 has been, there's been a double standard of sorts.
Definitely.
Well, keep in mind, guys, a certain platform holder also just recently announced or had the announcement of EA, the EA, what's it called? EA's Game Pass. I forget the service's name. EA Access. There we go.
EA Access and EA Origins Access.
Yeah, correct. Coming over to PlayStation. So, and I remember that was a bad thing. Remember that? That was a bad thing for consumers.
Well, they could have had it day one. They could have had it day one, and they were like, "No, we don't need that. Nobody wants that. That's kind of
we have PlayStation now. You don't need EA Access."
But I mean, I have to ask though, where does it stop? Okay, now you got Ubisoft coming out with one. What's next? Rockstar gonna have Take-Two gonna have their own. Like, before you know it, you're gonna be spending $1,500 a month on all these different services, and it's like.
Or you could just buy games as you continue to today, right?
Mm-hmm. In my video, I called it the war of the subscription services. Pretty soon, we're gonna have these ideas of my subscription service is better than yours.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Hulu, Netflix, all over again. Amazon Prime, it's ridiculous.
I'm looking at Xbox One and Xbox One in the chat saying Cuphead's coming to Tesla, but who's to get? I mean, what if we get Game Pass in Tesla? Why not just go all the way and get it in the car, man?
Hey,
Aaron, you listening?
Play where you want, Tesla. How you want, and then you wreck yourself in the freeway.
When you want.
Yeah, it's your choice, right, guys? It's your choice. And all right,
Imagine playing Forza while driving a Tesla.
that is exhilarating yet scary at the same time.
Right? Take the wheel. Which one? Oh, never mind.
Now I'm off the ramp. But all right, guys, we're moving on to our next topic. And the new Call of Duty for this year has been announced, called Modern Warfare. It's a reboot of the popular Modern Warfare titles, as per the name, by developer Infinity Ward. And it will have a campaign featuring familiar face Captain Price and have an emphasis on realism and traditional peer-to-peer multiplayer, and even a new co-op mode to boot. No zombies, though. There's not going to be a zombies
did you
mode.
say peer-to-peer multiplayer?
A PvP.
Oh, I thought you said peer-to-peer.
I might have
That's
dealer
what
by
he said.
accident. I might have said it by accident.
I was like, peer-to-peer, huh? Activision?
My
Boy,
fault.
they're going all out if that's the case.
Yeah, really. Peer-to-peer.
Well, PvP. My mistake. But
You know, I'm gonna kick off for a second. I'm sorry if I'm cutting anybody off, but I haven't bought a Call of Duty game in a couple years now, and this trailer got me hyped. I mean, for one, it looks amazing. So I don't know if it's really, it says in-game footage, but the jury's still out on that. But having the familiar faces like Captain Price, hopefully my man Ghost comes in. But yeah, I actually got hyped, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I haven't got excited for a Call of Duty in a few years at least.
So nostalgia and visuals.
Yes.
Kinda.
Oh yes, I'm a whore for a good visual. You know what I mean? Take my money.
Well, what's interesting too, there was rumors floating around that like Infinity Ward was working on a new engine for the past couple of years, but I guess they came out from what I was hearing. It's not even a new engine. So, yeah.
You know what? They've been working really hard to paint over the last engine, really hard. So.
Well, I think they learned their lesson over the whole, battle royale type, games, and not having a campaign or traditional campaign. I mean, don't get me wrong. Battle royale has its place, and it's a very successful model. But it's not Call of Duty. I'm sorry, Call of Duty. While it's getting stale, they had to do something. But I mean, you see how basically nobody even talks about what was it, Black Ops 5 or whatever the hell it is. Nobody's even talking about it.
I thought that game did pretty well though.
But nobody's playing it.
I bought it the day it came out to play with friends, and I've barely played it since it first came out.
Yeah, I'm burnt out on Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm. And the thing was too, after the game released, you're paying full price for the game, which a lot of games have it for free, right? Free battle royales. And then not only on top of that, you got the season pass, and then there's all these loot boxes and so on. So, they were nickel and dime. And remember, there was the joke about the, what was it? The weapon cursor or whatever, the aim dot. You had to spend a couple of bucks to get that. Like, they're really nickel and diming people.
Well, and they announced all the DLC is going to be free. So, that's huge because Activision they want every last drop of dime that you have in your pocket. They'll turn you upside down.
$10. You want to save slot? $10.
Well, what's interesting, yes, they announced that there won't be a season pass, so there will be free maps, some free content. But
we'll pay eventually. There's always a but. There ain't nothing for free in this life.
Yeah, they
got
will
my
be
daddy in a Cadillac like that one time. Oh.
And especially with the way that Activision Blizzard are going right now, they keep like shedding employees at the moment, cutting costs. So, they're going to want to make some money. They got to make some more profit at the end. So, of course, there's going to be some kind of DLC coming in to pay. So don't worry about that, guys. It'll be expected.
I mean, this is a company that was making 2/3 of its total revenue off of microtransactions. So keep that in mind. That's not even the sale of the game.
It's not going away, obviously.
Well, they bank.
I mean, they're a very valuable company considering they don't make anything except for Call of Duty. And of course, they got Blizzard, which some people say, hey, they're dead now. So they got to figure something out and quick.
No,
the free DLC is a coonskin cap for your character.
I'll take 2.
Davy Crockett. Oh,
Why not? Why not? But did any of you guys see the? I know Southeast said it. Did any of you guys watch the trailer? Were you impressed by what you saw, by like the campaign, how it looked, and like the more realistic, real world look that it was going for?
I mean, we know it looks great. I mean, the Call of Duty World War II looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
no.
And a lot of what we saw was also in cutscene as well. And World War II looked a lot different when they ramped up all those effects and half the frame rate, right?
I don't think I've ever seen a
that's what I
bad
said.
Call of Duty trailer though. They always kind of pull me in with the
Yeah,
trailer.
it's kind of like
That's
Battlefield, right? They always have
Yeah.
a really good trailer. You're like, holy shit! And then you play the game with 2 guns.
Oh yeah, Battlefield's horrible about that because you see it running on a $1 million PC and you're like, wow, that looks amazing. And you get it home, and you're like, that's not what I saw at E3.
DX has done a lot to bring that forward, right? But yeah, they're really good at trailers. Like they hire people for this stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is too, there's been a lot of positive energy about this reveal trailer. It's gone all. If you look at like the actual official trailer on, was it Activision's website or no, YouTube? It's very positive, lots of likes, and not if you look back at Infinity
Yeah.
War's last game, Infinite Warfare. That one tanked horribly. It got ratioed, to say the
Well,
least.
the craziest thing about it, because I don't know, obviously everybody that paid attention knows that the next iteration of Call of Duty is already having problems. So they were already putting out the fire for the next Call of Duty, not this one, but then the one from next year. So because didn't Treyarch had to take over the production of the next Call of Duty?
Yeah, supposedly that's the rumor going right now.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny when people are not focused on what you're coming out with this year. You're already worrying about the next iteration. You got to put out fires for that one. That's nuts.
Yeah. But
Well,
oh, go ahead.
no, I think they did a lot of things right. They have crossplay. They have. They said they're not going to have the season pass. They obviously said they're going to have a new engine. They're saying now. Did you guys hear that it's going to take place in an alternate universe?
No, I hadn't heard that.
I heard that. I don't know. I don't know where I heard that, but I didn't get confirmation. But there was just a lot of good info and a lot of goodwill. It seemed from Activision, which you don't really you ever hear about it. So hear about it from them. So I think it's a really good step in the right direction for them.
Well, I'll say it here, and I've always said it. Nostalgia is a son of a bitch. You know what I mean? People, you dangle that carrot, and people are just hopping all over for it. And like I said, it got me. I haven't paid attention to Call of Duty in years, and now I'm like, well, Captain Price, baby.
The trailer was
this.
awesome. The trailer was awesome, but I think one of the biggest things, like Tim said, was the crossplay between PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. And like I was saying before the last show, you want to make a statement and push this crossplay narrative. This is what you're gonna have to do. A game like crossplay. Same thing with a game like Destiny. You're just gonna have to just keep moving forward. In a game like Call of Duty, you can definitely send that message. I
think it's very good for crossplay.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody the likes of Call of Duty doing this, I think that setting the trend forward that you're going to see all these guys doing crossplay. And look, this crossplay argument was always stupid because with crossplay you have cross progression. So if you have stats on one platform and you go to another, shouldn't those stats come over, and shouldn't you be viewed that way? The idea that you would play one platform and then come to another and then have your stats not taking, obviously is not good for you as a gamer. It's actually anti-gamer. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
It brings up a question for me. Okay, we got crossplay. Now you wonder about the time DLC. Is it all, who has marketing rights?
It doesn't look like it looks like they have 7-day first maybe access, but I didn't hear anything about the DLC being timed. So I think that might be I don't think that the deal that they had previously with
Right.
Sony.
Well, because this is a new deal this year, right? It started
They're
a
not
new
at
deal.
E3. They're like, no. You renege. We're taking some of that back because you're not going to be at E3 this year. So
Right. Well, they
you
probably
get
signed
7
for a
days
lot
only.
less. Well, they probably
Mhm.
signed if it was say it was a $50 million deal.
Mhm.
Now it's only $5 million. It's going to be drastically less. It doesn't. That's all they said on their site was the 7 hours first free or whatever, 7 days content first.
Their wording around no season pass and all that stuff was weird too on the Activision site and on the Infinity Ward site or something. They worded it oddly on both sites for that section. So if you haven't read that stuff, I'd really encourage you to go back and read that. But they're gonna definitely come back and find a way to make some more money for sure. And the crossplay thing is great.
Of course.
We've all said it's inevitable, but I insist that we have an option to avoid it if we do wish so. Right, more options.
Yeah.
I honestly,
Right,
I don't
I
want to
agree
play
with that.
anybody with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, you
know
don't
what I
want to
mean?
get dominated. I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah.
no lube by mouse and keyboard. It's going to be very not great for
Yep.
you. So if you want to avoid that, you can. On the other hand, Microsoft are enabling mouse and keyboard for their own platform. So you can play with people with mouse and keyboard on console. People say you're playing with people with mouse and keyboard anyway, but it's a far lower percentage. So if you want to
Right.
play as many mouse and keyboard as possible, it'll be there.
Oh, absolutely.
The option to the gamer. I think that's basically the way
Yeah.
you should go about it. If you don't want to play, you click on the console to console.
Yeah, tick a box. So I don't want to play with crossplay.
Well,
Now-
it's really amazing where we're at now because at the beginning of the generation, we were just talking about closed box and exclusives and all this. And now we're like, oh, we were talking about cross-platform, not the Xbox itself, but the Xbox ecosystem. And then other companies are kind of looking at it too. It's amazing where we're at now to compare to the beginning of this generation.
Well,
Now,
just
if I
imagine
can-
if you have xCloud on your phone and you're over at a buddy's house who only has a PlayStation. And you're like, man, I wish I could play some Call of Duty. Well, you know what? Yeah, you'll be able to play together, even though he's on a PlayStation and you're on your phone.
If you want you want businesses to grow, gaming to grow, you take down these barriers. Like I was saying before, if you can only afford one console, then
Well,
That-
most people, and I mean, obviously, most kids can only get one console.
mhm.
It just makes sense. Allow people to play together.
They're trying to remove the console and let anybody with a 4G enabled device buy a game, which takes you from 40, 50 million Xbox Ones alone to hundreds at the very least, even though there's like a billion of these devices, right? At the very least, hundreds and hundreds of additional people that you can sell your games to. So the more people that invest back into the ecosystem, back into the games, the bigger and better the games usually tend to get. For instance, PC guys should really enjoy the fact that console guys get games. Because if not for console guys powering the vast majority of sales for AAA games, you wouldn't have nearly the investment in things like Red Dead or The Witcher 3. Like Red Dead will come to PC, for instance, but Witcher 3, Grand Theft Auto, like all these massive games, you wouldn't have that investment because there's just not enough people out there with capable PC hardware. Whereas you got, a ton of sales on console and the numbers don't lie.
And
You know,
we
we
have
know-
pirates you got to deal with.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, more investment, generally, the bigger some of these games get.
Mhm.
For the most part, console sales dominate PC.
With AAA games, yeah.
Yeah, with AAA games for the big ones. So I mean, it is what it is. It's something that moving forward with the crossplay and everything, and all where this is all going. I think it's definitely better for the gaming. And we talked about 2013, as somebody mentioned. Yeah, I can even say in the last 2 years, it's really started to make that shift, and it seems like the next year moving forward. We're going to be thrust really into this now, and it's going to be migrating over to what they've been talking about, and everyone's been talking about. I think crossplay and all this stuff is now going to be a norm.
Yeah, moving forward for sure. But guys, you know what? Like, as far as Call of Duty goes, like I'm just glad that it's going back to like more modern era because the past couple of years, excluding World War II, we've been missing that boots on the ground, like simpler kind of combat aspects, and it
You
feels
don't
like
like those jetpacks and jumping around walls and wall riding and everything.
you're talking about Titanfall, right?
I've noticed that they're going with a more nitty gritty, darker version of Call of Duty than we've seen in a while. They're drifting away from that Michael Bay style of a game and wanting to have it more of a darker setting, a more serious setting.
Well, it's funny you say that, Centurion, because some journalists were kind of squeamish over what they saw with the campaign narrative and tone.
I read
Remember-
about that.
Yeah,
What about
everybody's
the kid soldiers or something like that?
well, everybody's favorite Cuphead tutorial player, Dean Takahashi, uh, was calling for what you may say censorship over what he saw because I guess during a certain scene or aspect of the gameplay, a woman goes to pick up a gun, and I guess you're forced to shoot the woman. And it just kind of like he was calling it a no Russian moment. For everybody who doesn't know, no Russian was a pretty big talking point from Modern Warfare 2. And people were kind of up in arms about that, but it kind of really set things in motion for the campaign, the storyline. But
I mean, they could get used to that. Like I think me and Tim talked about this behind the scene. It might have been someone else, but from what I had heard is that the game is essentially has you playing as some kind of undercover terrorist, and it's full of you've got to do all kinds of crazy things like you did in the No Russia level. I'm not sure how I could.
War's tough.
What was the Call of Duty? It was the one that was really controversial.
You're in the airport, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
no Russian.
airport.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
and they
was
made
no
you.
Russian, right?
You
Yeah,
mowed
that
down
was-
everybody.
that
Spoiler.
was sick. Yeah, well, at the
Decade-old
point-
spoiler.
That, but even though that was a real controversial time, that was pretty sick when I played that. When I first played that, I was like,
I was like, damn, we're mowing everybody down. Nobody moves, literally.
well, it was controversial because you're not mowing down soldiers, you're mowing down civilians. I guess that but that's
Women,
And in
children,
this day and
elderly.
age, man, it's something that could potentially happen. That's why it just feels, really,
scary.
kind of.
Yeah, but the thing is, why aren't games allowed to do that? But in movies, you see that a lot. Like how many action movies?
It's a double
I think.
standard.
I mean, not that I would agree with any of these people saying censorship, but you have little kids carrying these acts out. I guess maybe.
Possibly,
Maybe that's why they're like,
but the little kids shouldn't also be playing.
Gaming makes
It
things
goes
more
back to the
realistic,
parents.
though. I mean, you're actually controlling what's happening on the screen. That's why it pulls you in more than I think a movie.
Yeah, but then I would say, all right, Sally, it's time to be a mom. It's time to be a parent. Billy,
Exactly.
right? And control what your kids are playing. It says
Oh,
the
most
M on
definitely.
there- says an M on there for mom. Please look at this shit before you let your kid play it. Like, hey,
Hey, Junior, go play this and leave me alone.
yeah,
See, in the article, it didn't really point out that kids were soldiers, like they were wearing fatigues and running around and shooting people. It was more along the lines of that a hostile force was taking over an area and two kids were forced to defend themselves. And they even made comments that one of them stabbed a soldier trying to hurt them in the leg with a screwdriver. So it's not like the kids were running around with guns being a soldier. They were just put in a really serious situation that actually could happen in today's world.
I mean, there are kid soldiers in today's world either way. I mean,
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Oh,
either way.
absolutely.
machetes and AKs, man.
But I think people are sheltered, right? We live in such a bubble, right, of freedom and whatnot that people don't realize that there's a lot of stuff from around the world that stuff actually happens.
And be sure and buy your kid this game ASAP.
You know,
Well, and people worrying about censorship and games and all that. The government can't do it because it goes against, freedom of speech. It's just, they just got to have more restriction on people
They're trying
buying the games.
They're trying. The government, they're trying. They're trying, man.
There's a particular group of people, that definitely don't like it. They said that letting your kids have access to games like giving them a bar full of drugs, just a bar that has the open bar full of drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the
Nice
panic.
Now, I
analogy.
wonder
children.
who
That's
would have said that.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, I'm looking forward to the new Call of Duty. It's been a while since I can actually say that with a straight face, to be honest with you, but I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait to see more, and hopefully it doesn't let us down. But yeah, moving on and on to our next topic. And out of nowhere, Crackdown 3 received a free update, and it's called the Extra Edition. It gives players freedom to play with a variety of cheats, tools, and controls to increase like agent abilities, and you can also spawn all kinds of enemies, vehicles, and all kinds of objects like beach balls and so on. And for the multiplayer, they added different, like a new variety progression system to unlock different cosmetics. I know, whoop-de-doo, right? And admittedly, I booted it up before we started the show, and I played around with it. It's kind of cool, but I don't know how much longevity it actually adds. But what do you guys think about this update? Because it's been a pretty significant time since we've heard about anything Crackdown related. Do you see people coming back for this?
I haven't. I haven't.
No.
It's a decent game. I want to get back to it, but I'm not going to go back to it anytime.
You know, I
Megatron,
mean,
you saying you enjoy Crackdown 3? You're not allowed.
I'm not. Yeah, I know. I'm not supposed to say it.
You're not
it's a good
allowed
game.
to have fun with that game. Crackdown 3 was actually, it was fun. That's the word, right?
It was fun.
It's fun. And if you didn't play it, you probably don't understand. But a lot of people that did play it were like, "Yeah, I had a pretty good time with that game." I would have Crackdown fan. I'm not, I never really played the franchise, and then I jump into Crackdown 3, and I'm like, "Wow, I'm actually having some fun here." And I beat that game. I think I got almost 700 gamer score in it. I went pretty hard on that game, so
Nice.
it's not going to entice me to go back to it.
It's a fun co-op game, you know what I mean? But sitting there playing, say, "Oh, I'm gonna play hundreds of hours on it." No, I don't really see it. I mean, the game's barely got a pulse, so I don't see it coming back. There's no CPR for that game.
I do think it's nice that Microsoft's still supporting the game. In a way, I think that that shows that Game Pass. Another benefit of the Game Pass is that even if a game doesn't do the greatest out of the gate, which obviously Crackdown 3 didn't. You might still get some support for it, and I mean, this is a nice little update. It unlocks everything. You can day-night cycle. I saw a tweet from a friend Colt. Yeah, and it was really pretty cool. So I mean, I'll jump back in and play with it a little. That's about it. I finished the game. I thought it was an okay game. The multiplayer I was disappointed in, but overall, it's a nice little update in my opinion. A nice little tidbit.
They didn't put it this way. They didn't have to do that, and they did.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
I mean, the thing is, like, some of that should have been in there. Like, when you're talking about, like, when you have a multiplayer system, like, when you were advertising it and you didn't put in, like, a progression system right off the bat for people to actually, like, work through things to try to achieve things, they were just going for, like, a, team deathmatch, and that's it.
I mean, there wasn't even any party system. I mean, the multiplayer, actually, they did need to patch that. There was no, like, party system to group with your friends or anything. And a lot of people are goal oriented, so they want to unlock something or work towards something. I completely get that as well.
Yeah, there were a lot of things.
Do you guys think they should have just postponed the launch of the game? You know what I mean, until it was actually done and finished.
Well, they could have left the multiplayer.
They should have separated the two and made the multiplayer free, and then put that campaign at $30. Honestly.
Yeah, the campaign,
that was kind of the rumor for a while, though. That was the rumor for a while.
I mean, like, come out at the same time. They wanted to release one thing way before the other, right? Because CloudGen got bought in the middle of development. Yeah. And from what I hear, they could have sued CloudGen for that. But they didn't do that, right? I don't remember who I heard that from, but I absolutely believe it. And they didn't leave. They kind of left things out of whack when they did that, because they took that technology and all that stuff with them. And that's why the destruction is how it is, because they had to rebuild that. So they could have sold that single player for like $30 and probably would have got a lot less flack for it. Single player was fun.
Yeah, it's just crazy how Xbox always has to fall on the sword and be the bad guy and get the bad name and everything.
I think right now they protected themselves with this, and we were talking earlier on another show that you look at some of the risks that they made with Scalebound and even Crackdown and announcing it early. Those weren't their studios. They didn't own those studios. And the ability now to own your studios and to
be in
control, to hire more people, to put more resources on the project from within your company it's a big deal. So
what do you mean, Tim? You're saying that now they're gonna have a team like Rare develop a game, and Rare's not going to come out with 8 other games in the time it took them to develop this other game.
yeah.
And like they're actually going to have some control, some
overseas,
oversight, some like what's going on with the budget. They're going to share technology with the rest of the teams.
No, they just like throwing money away.
Platinum, that's why Platinum got fired. That's how they got released from their contract, just like the guys that were doing the Phantom Dust reboot. People like that, like it was Microsoft's fault. No, Platinum, it was your fault. You missed.
Well, it's funny how now some of the guys that worked at Platinum saying, "Well, you know what? Microsoft and Xbox actually did right by Platinum. You know, now you're starting to hear the real story.
The blame, right?
Hey, Microsoft paid for 3 other games to get built, so you know."
Yeah, that they definitely have egg on their face there, to say the least, huh?
Yes, Invader, they do. But Tim's right. We did say that we did cover this on Iron Lords. Now that Microsoft
shout out to Iron Lords,
love those guys. We'll be seeing them in LA
in
too.
charge of like their own studios, right? They're buying things now. Here they're building another studio for like for an RTS or whatever. Now that they're in charge of this kind of stuff, they can be, you know, they don't got to worry about what their teams are doing. They have all this oversight. They can show things a little earlier because they're more confident that it's going to turn into a real product.
And it won't be vaporware. 100%.
It won't be a Scalebound, which they still have all the assets and IP to. I still think that Ninja Theory could really finish that game and try to do it justice, but I understand that they probably won't do that.
You know,
it's tainted. You know what I mean? It's like
I hate
wants
to bring up the S word because, you know, it's been talked to death, and I was really looking forward to it, guys. I still have some swag, some Scalebound swag.
Yeah,
I got a t-shirt.
On Instagram.
I remember going to an expo like 2 years ago and going up to the Xbox booth, and a Microsoft guy was looking at me. He's like, "You're wearing that? Get that out of here!" And it was, no, I'm dead serious. It was Scalebound. I was just like, "What? What
drop kicks you out? Yeah, I mean,
take it off and burn it right now."
I'll tell you later.
I remember during development, you know, I'd sit there and talk about Scalebound, and I'd get the funny looks like, "Oh, you have no idea."
You know, exactly. Actually, the guy
to say it had a troubled, you know, production is saying it lightly.
Well, everybody seems to know Scalebound's problems, but I was looking forward to it. Like I personally, I would like to see it come back, but
I'm with you on that one. I would love to see it come back too,
because it's something that is missing from Microsoft's portfolio, that kind of a game. But you know, like Dealer said, who would make it, right? If not Platinum. Ninja Theory would be great. They have multiple teams, but you know, your guess is as good as mine. They own the IP though, so they could hand it off to somebody, no problem. But we shall see, guys. And moving on to some interesting news, and really out of the blue, right before E3, Sony dropped a pretty lengthy trailer for Death Stranding. Now, this trailer ran for about 9 minutes and showed Norman Reedus' character traversing a wide variety of terrain with a ladder in hand, trying to stealthily avoid monsters, and some very graceful briefcase combat action. Now, the game looks very easy on the eyes. It looks like gorgeous. It has some really nice details, to say the least, and some great voice castings as well to boot. But there still seems to be confusion on what the game is actually about and how well it plays. It has a release date set for November 8th, so now we finally got something concrete about it. But panel, have you guys watched this Death Stranding trailer, and what are your impressions? Like, can you make anything out of it still?
I'm actually watching the trailer right now because I just realized I haven't watched the full thing yet, other than the small little memes I've been seeing on Twitter. This game,
what's a meme?
Whatever, memes, whatever the hell you call it.
Oh, meme. Oh, meme. It's a meme.
This damn game looks really, really good. But I don't know what's going on. I can't tell you for the life of me what's actually happening, other than just this baby in a jar, and but the landscape
starts out in your stomach, Megatron. You eat a little baby pill, and then you throw it up into the jar. Because they have shown the baby in the stomach thing, right? They've also shown the lady at the end of the last trailer, like eating one of those pills. I guess that the baby's in the pill. I don't know.
Was it Plan B or something?
Is there an open container bleaching Plan B? What's going on? So I don't know what's going on in that. Like, that's a great question, Megatron. Like, what do you think is happening, Megatron? That's what I want from you right now. What was?
I don't know.
Yeah, give me a
I-
play-by-play. What are your thoughts as you're watching this trailer?
Yeah, like,
Well, again, my impression is like Hideo Kojima gets a lot of praise and respect for this game and his previous games like Metal Gear, but the audience seems to have a hard time
For his
understanding this game.
cutscenes. Yeah.
The trailer was a little slow to get started at first. When you're watching the trailer, you're like, what the hell is going on? And then you realize you're actually seeing it from the perspective of the baby in the jar. And then that's where, like, as I watched the trailer, yes, it looks like a cleaned, polished PlayStation game. But one thing I don't think people are fully going to be able to wrap their minds around is I have yet to see any kind of a, he's running from people and he's fighting them with a Louis Vuitton suitcase or whatever the heck you want to call it. But
my Gucci bag.
Yeah, right. Or you see him with a fold, like a ladder that folds out. But I'm not saying you need firearms in a game, but when you have action sequences, most of the time people associate action sequences with some kind of a weaponry, not just running. Mm-hmm. And is Kojima going for a game that does not involve fighting people to the death? In other words, is it more pro-life? And that's where, because he even said that this game is supposed to reflect things that are going on today. And is that going to work, in my opinion? Are people going to be able to wrap their minds around a game that doesn't really want you going around killing everybody?
Well, I did see a gun in the trailer. Mm-hmm. He was mowing down the guys in the trenches of the underworld or whatever. The gunplay looked horrible, though. It looked super stiff.
There was even a part where he was ready to pull the trigger on himself. Like I'm watching it now. It does. This game,
Okay, so I didn't.
I mean, but it just. I mean, maybe there's some time to polish that.
Yeah, but I do agree that there's not a heavy emphasis on huge shooting, combat, and that type of stuff. Everything. I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's parts of this game that look amazing. The characters, the cutscenes and all that stuff look top notch.
But then you see the gameplay.
But some of the gameplay, if you're going to be honest, and somebody was comparing it to some of the had a little bit of State of Decay jank, like with the running and stuff like that. Yeah, I think it didn't look the greatest. Is this something that they can redefine and fix towards the end? Probably, but most likely it's probably a good indicator of what you're going to get. But that's not all the game is going to be about. I mean, game could possibly have a really crazy story, and who knows how it's going to break out. But
that's the problem with Kojima games, though, Tim. The stories are too damn crazy.
Yeah.
It's like an existential crisis or something.
But if I'm being honest with myself, and yeah, I am an Xbox guy. I just if that game just it's definitely not for me, or it definitely isn't something that I'm like would get super excited about. I think it looked, like I said, some of the gameplay looked like it definitely needs some work.
Like I said on Twitter, man, I just need to see more of this game. Like, I have not seen enough over 20 minutes of trailers. The guys riding wheelies in the dirt on the motorcycle in this last trailer. I'm like, what? All kind. It's
one
all
of the
over the damn place.
One of the last scenes, I mean, you had this squad of soldiers that were just raising up out of this like murky, oily looking whatever fluid, and then the guy just kind of lights it on fire and then just kind of walk through it.
It's like
honestly, I mean, the game, it looks so damn good. There's some frame rate issues I can tell, but I do want to know more, and I don't want to knock the game yet. But
I'll wait till this game comes on Game Pass.
Yeah,
the game is very visually appealing.
It is. I can't for sure.
It does capture your attention by the subject matter alone, and because it draws you in. Like, what the heck is going on here? But again, this game was initially announced back at E3 2016, if I'm not mistaken, and it's still very mysterious and confusing to follow at times. It's like, just give me something concise that I'm like,
I think this game was announced in 2015, wasn't it?
That far back?
The partnership was announced. And
that's when they said that the game PC as well, by the way.
I am shocked about the launch date, though. November 8th. this year. You guys think they're going to keep that, or will there be delays?
See, I don't. That's the thing. When I talk about,
I'd say probably March 2020.
Yeah, I could see that definitely getting delayed.
I'd say that's when Last of Us 2 is coming out, though, around then.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay,
it might
yeah,
be
they can't do
something.
that.
It might be something that they're going to try to. I don't listen. I'm pretty surprised at the timeline of this. They probably started production in 2017, and that to me is a little bit of a head scratch because Kojima is notorious for delaying games and making sure it's perfect. But the one thing that you got to do is you got to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's obviously one of the top, if not, top 5 greatest developers
for sure
of all time. So,
I mean,
but it begs the question is like, when do they fall? Like, is this gonna be his first mess up? Like, is he gonna shit the bed with this one?
I don't know anybody who really thinks Metal Gear Solid 5 is a 95 like it is on Metacritic. I think I hear so many people saying Kojima is extremely overrated. I don't know the Metal Gear story, so I can't really say he is or not. But I do know that I didn't play no God of War when I booted up Metal Gear Solid 5. God of War, I knew it from the beginning. This is a 95, 94. Metal Gear Solid 5.
I want him to quit making games already and just make a fucking movie because that's all he likes to do.
That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. By the way, they did move this game over to the Decima engine, which is the Horizon Zero Dawn engine, to speed up production. I think this game's been in development since 2016 at least.
But you think though, really quick though, he's making these movies. Isn't that kind of somewhat what they're doing? They're catering to Sony's fan base, right? I mean, so that's possibly just a good thing.
I mean, Kojima's known for 80-minute cutscenes, though, bro.
Right.
That's true.
Now, was this a knee-jerk reaction because all of a sudden everybody was starting to say that they're going to have a lackluster 2019 and that the games that are coming out aren't exactly what they're wanting? And then all of a sudden I open up Twitter and they've announced a release date for this game.
It was on purpose. Like, I'm pretty sure they planned to do this right before E3. It just seems to have the writing on the wall for that. I don't think it's so much knee jerk. Otherwise, then again, you can't exactly show a 9 to 10 minute trailer on State of Play, I suppose.
I just want like a 400-foot ladder like you had in the trailer.
Well, it's interesting.
The back pocket ladder.
It's one of those ladders that you can fold 10 million different ways.
Like, this game is going to have a lot of just walking, and we know that. It had a traversal weapon wheel. Here, pull out the descending rope thing. Here, get the giant ladder. Like, no matter how you want to try to get around it, there is
put on your hiking boots before you try to go up that hill.
There's just a lot of walking in this game.
It's very interesting because they do talk about, I have heard about like vehicle bays and that you can drive vehicles, but we always see is walking combat or even like him stealthily sneaking around. But at the same time, Kojima himself said the other day, it's not a stealth game. Then what the heck kind of a game is it?
I mean, the places that he's traversing, like in the gameplay, he's got like a corpse on his back for some reason, right? Are you there yet? Like the guy's on his back talking to him. Like, there's a corpse on his back, and he's walking through this big open plain, and people are like, you walked in State of Decay 2. Yeah, there's a house 30 feet from me I can go loot with zombies in it, right? It's a little different, whereas I just need to see a lot more from this game. I really do.
Yeah, I was intrigued a little bit by the guy that had the gold mask on that could beam himself around. Do you remember that from the trailer? Like,
that's Troy Baker character.
Yeah, it's true. And even like that giant lion thing as well also has a giant gold mask on it as well. So I wonder if there's a connection there. But yeah, very interesting game, guys. But before we move on, did you guys happen to catch the special edition that was announced along with it? Because it comes with a few goodies, to say the least. Typical stuff like steel book, keychain, and in-game items and so on.
Alive, baby.
But yes, it comes with an actual one of those bridge babies. They're called a bridge baby pod that the character carries around, and it just comes off as really creepy. Did any of you guys happen to see that?
It comes with a magic baby. Is that what you're telling me?
It comes with the baby from Look Who's
Talking. It comes with a
Talking.
test tube baby. Oh.
Yeah, you actually put it up to your umbilical cord. You can put it on the thing.
Tim Dog got two of them things.
Plug and play, baby. That's what they mean.
Yeah,
And doesn't it light up in the night? So it's not going to be less. Nothing's going to be more soothing than walking into your room seeing two glowing babies in your room at night.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
too,
really gonna
like-
get a girl to
And
jump in
then-
bed with you.
and then me screaming in the middle of it. I can see dead people.
Yeah. South is right. You're gonna bring a lady into your room. She'll be like, "This motherfucker wants some commitment. He's got some glowing babies."
My
And-
wife
and
would
this
be
is our
signing-
baby.
my wife would make me sign my divorce papers right there.
Those
Like,
are-
okay.
I'm right there with you,
No.
man. My wife would not let me put that up in the house if I got it.
Hey, I'm all for collector's editions and whatnot, statues and all that. People, like we were talking about before, the guys from the Iron Lords, they have some really impressive statues.
The Iron?
The Iron Lords.
The Iron Lord.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe it's my Canadian accent. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What
no,
are you talking
those
about?
guys- What you
South
talking
County
about?
Big
Eh?
Man. So Invader, you're talking about the Iron Lords, sir.
That
right.
is
Yeah,
correct,
apologies.
my friend, and how a couple of those guys, they have an impressive collection there of
Oh, you're talking
collector's
about King
editions.
David's baby dolls. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I can't imagine one of those guys having Chucky there, little Chucky in a pod there. It would scare
I don't
everybody
even
away.
think I don't think David would have one of them damn dolls, and he's got some pretty crazy dolls.
No, I think David would. I think he'd get a couple. He put him on that spinning table in the
I don't
background.
know. But you know what? When he does, we'll see it on Instagram. Shout out to David out there. King David.
Yeah, he's
What up,
got an
dog?
impressive collection of statues, man. Really impressed by what he has.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. But moving on from our gripping discussion of Death Stranding, guys, it is finally that time to give our predictions for E3. And this will primarily be focused on Xbox. But hey, if anyone wants to, talk about more, you're more than welcome to, of course, to speculate on other conferences.
Isn't Xbox the only show in town?
Pretty much.
I thought I heard that somewhere.
Well, there's a couple here, a couple there, but Xbox is the big daddy of the conferences this year. And, recently Xbox had Phil Spencer talked about their final rehearsal and stated that they plan to show a whopping 14 Xbox Game Studio titles alone, and it'll be their longest conference to date. So, it's sounding very exciting here, guys. Now, what do you expect to see at Xbox's showing? Do you guys expect to see a bunch of new games, or should we just try to temper our expectations here?
Both.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
A lot of people were running
can't
with the
expect the
14 thing, right? I posted 14. I think it's more than anyone has ever shown. This is from first party. And then you got some people are like, well, those are going to be on PC and some of them are going to, like they're going to show a lot of things. And a lot of what they're going to show is stuff that probably is already out, right? So nobody ever said that it's 14 brand new IP or new games that we've never seen. No one said
right.
that. We are fully aware of what exactly is happening. It's like motherfuckers don't pay attention to videos and stuff anymore, but I feel like it's common sense. What it is it's good. It's good news. I mean, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. The more they can show, the better. I just don't want to see, as me and Tim talked about earlier, Minecraft. I don't want to see Sea of Thieves. I don't even want to see State of Decay 2 when they talk about that anniversary update, which that's probably one of the 14. But, I think they should really pick and choose those slots carefully.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you bring that up too, Dealer, because will we see a lot of stuff for games that we've seen before, like, as you were saying, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2? What else could we see? Could we see The Outer Worlds finally, like some gameplay? Wasteland 3? I know that they were teasing Wasteland earlier today. NXL seems to be pretty pumped for that. What about Forza Horizon? Do any of you guys think that we'll hear something Forza related? Because I believe Playground Games was sort of hinting at something a day or two ago as well.
Oh, I'm sure they still got some DLC out there, and and obviously the next Forza would be announced. As far as I know, the new Forza Motorsport ain't coming out this year, but I think they'll announce it for next year.
I'd much rather hear from about Forza 8 than Forza Horizon, because it's already out. It's just DLC. I think that's something you can announce, around E3 or after the show. But I want to hear about more new IPs, maybe some studio acquisitions, maybe something with Mechasalt, something like that. I want new things, new ideas, and I wouldn't be surprised, believe it or not, if Nintendo walked out on stage at some point and said what they were going to do, and maybe a partnership with them.
That'd be interesting, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
you know.
mean, but hey, like I said,
Kumbaya.
no one saw. People had ideas, but no one really saw, PlayStation and Microsoft, and we shot that idea down. Some of us, and I think it's time to think outside the box, and they're going to put on a show that's rumored to be 2 hours long. It better be a damn good one, and I think.
Well, yeah, because there's gonna be a lot of people falling asleep, and all these live podcasts. Like, what the hell's going on? Board,
Where's the guy with the flute?
Yeah.
Megatron,
Hey,
would
the
you
banjo
say,
performance was the best.
Go ahead.
Yeah, would you say, Megatron, is safe to say that things that are already out, Sea of Thieves, Minecraft, all that stuff, Horizon 4 DLC, that can be relegated to something like Inside Xbox?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's it. I do think Minecraft will be shown, but just really small segments of that show. Like, I just don't want that to be the big thing. I want to hear, just new IPs, man. That's what we need. That's what we got all these new studios. That's what people want. So give us that. Some of that at the very least.
Well, I'm sure they'll be well represented.
Yeah.
Well, will we see something like, because again, Xbox studio games, it can mean anything. And what about something like even We Happy Few DLC? Because we still know that they got a couple going on there too.
It's
It's in
possible.
their best interest not to mention We Happy Few again, honestly.
Listen, I'm gonna go on a wild leaf here, and I said it before, and people were kind of like, no, it's too early. But I honestly think I'm gonna see something we're gonna see something from the initiative. Like,
Really?
at
I don't
least
see
like
that.
a sneak trailer, 10-second teaser, of
This is
what it
what's
might
coming in
be.
3.5 years.
So South, are you saying that the initiative is going to announce that they're going to be acquiring Bungie? Shouldn't it be Phil?
Oh yeah, initiative.
Eric.
Yeah, definitely. The initiative's going to announce that they're buying a company that's bigger than them.
I predict that Hostess is going to buy the Xbox brand and make special edition Xbox Twinkies.
No, there you go.
Yeah, that
I'll take two.
Y'all
Xbox,
motherfuckers is playing it way too
Xbox
safe.
glitter's going to shoot in your mouth.
Xbox Twinkie Edition. Make a console out of that.
Yeah, this is one of those different predictions, right? You get a different prediction every show. So
Yeah, different prediction every show. So all right, Timmy, we'll run down your predictions, brother, or dealer.
So, no, I think they're gonna have Thanos come out and.
All right.
No, I think it's pretty safe to say they're gonna have a pretty strong first party showing. We can debate all it is. There's probably gonna be a little bit of fluff there. That's I think when you say 14 and you only have 13 studios, obviously you're gonna have some stuff that's being worked on, or has been worked on, and stuff that we've seen. It's not gonna be all new, but I do think that. I'm going to go on a limb and say we're going to get one studio acquisition, and they might talk about a game there. So, and that's something that I really, really want. I want them to keep pushing that.
Bungie makes 14?
No, not Bungie. Not yet.
Hey, Megatron, tell us what you're really thinking about.
Megatron.
Hey, he's been beating this drum for 6 months.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
coming.
possible market deal. But I see that. I do think that they're going to talk about themselves as far as the console and say that they're going to be the most powerful. And they're also going to be the most, with the two SKUs, they're going to also be the most affordable entry level as well, because they're going to have the two SKUs. They're going to have Anaconda and Lockhart. So I think they're going to have a segment there. And the thing that I'm hoping for is I really want Fable to be there. I want them to announce pretty much the best kept secret.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wasn't it already announced on Mixer? Like they already.
No,
It's already,
it was yeah, something happened, but it's everyone. I mean, Eurogamer reported on it. It's been a wide rumor. It's the stories was that Fable 4 was the thing that was pitched to Playgrounds because they originally pitched Microsoft. Microsoft said no to their game, and then Microsoft came back and says, "What do you think of Fable 4?" And then that's part of how the partnership
acquisition.
happened. Yeah, the acquisition happened. So, I mean, I would love to see that. And I think if we get all those three, for me, that would be a satisfying E3. But I think there's a lot of pressure on them still because they have the floor to themselves, and they kind of have to come away here with the W no matter what.
All right, so we all know that Anaconda is going to be shown. Do we get a price?
Not sure it'll be shown.
Nah.
I think it'll.
No,
I think
maybe.
they'll talk about it, and I think they'll let you know it's the fastest console you can get and suck the wind out of PS5 sales. I think that's the smartest thing you can do.
They'll do exactly what they did with like the Scorpio, for example. They'll talk about it. They'll talk about some specs, and then
and that's what I mean. I mean exactly shown the physical box, but obviously they're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be a graphic on the screen will be showed.
Well, geez, Southbound, what is it, huh? Make up your mind.
Exactly. Yeah. God,
trying to make two predictions in one show.
How dare I? Well, I'm I didn't get on the Iron Lords this morning, so
Time to break out the magic 8-ball.
You'd have been in the background behind David spinning that little pedestal.
Should have took Rand's spot.
Yeah, Rand slept through it.
I know, Rand slept through it, man. Why didn't you call me? I would have
taken it. I would have taken it.
Cognito, David, man. I thought we were home.
Would have fucking showed up on his walkie-talkie. What's going on, guy?
That's right. At work too.
In the middle of the cloud outage too. The cloud went down as we were having a really good show too, and the cloud just freaking took a toll.
Yeah, the Google was everything was acting up today.
It was really weird. I mean, it was a struggle for me at the end of the.
They were trying to turn on Stadia, and it just shorted out everything. That's what happened.
Yeah, they're turning on the Stadia Studios game. They're firing up for the first time test shot. Yeah. So we might not be able to actually do the conference now.
They hit that AK button.
By the way, I need information on that new Batman game quick.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna need that as soon as possible.
You've been dying for that for the longest time.
But I thought it's not a Batman. I thought it's a Suicide game. Suicide Squad.
No, that's a Rocksteady team. This is the WB Montreal team.
Montreal, okay.
And they're working on a Batman game, supposedly for this year. They haven't revealed it yet. Now, I heard something last night that it might be of the Stadia stage because they're doing their little reveal. That doesn't mean it's exclusive, but that they'll show it off there like they did with Doom Eternal.
That would make sense. Yeah, they need to garner the third parties because they must have some kind of exclusive in development, but they got to
garner some lower latency. 160 milliseconds is not acceptable. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's bad.
It's funny, people were talking about this supposed Suicide Squad game, and I've behind the scenes I've heard it is and it's not. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I've heard it is, and I was thinking like, how can they make this work? And I was talking to Rand about this. The only way I can see a Suicide Squad being really cool, in gaming today, they rarely come up with a completely new concept, right? So I'm thinking Alien Isolation, but the alien is Batman, and you are the Suicide Squad trying to pull off these heists and do different things. Right? So you got Batman, who's this extremely smart AI. He can hear you, he can track you, and you are the Suicide Squad and all this co-op action. You're trying to do whatever the hell.
You got a bad idea. Making up better games that are out there, bro. Come on.
Now you just got me yearning for an Alien Isolation too.
And it's the only way I can see a Suicide Squad being like, oh wow, this is actually pretty fucking legit.
Well,
but what about all the rumors for a new this Avengers game?
Now that's a different studio. That's Crystal Dynamics, and that's not a rumor. They confirmed that will be D3.
Oh, right, nice.
Hell yeah. So that's got co-op and stuff too.
Now,
it better.
With Rocksteady's game, do you think we'll be seeing that anytime soon?
I would be very curious as to why they would show it before they showed or around the time they're showing their new Batman game, which is coming out before the Suicide Squad game.
It just Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. It's been a while since we heard anything from Rocksteady, and everybody's salivating.
It's been 4 years since they released a game. So if they don't show it off this year, that would be a very long time. Maybe they'll show it off, but that's big enough, honestly, a Rocksteady game to kind of have your the place to yourself. But in the
Well,
past,
remember a couple months ago, they actually had to come out because everyone was saying they were making a Superman game, and they finally had to come out and say, no, we're not making a Superman game. So then everybody went back to the drawing board. Well, what could it be?
Alien Isolation, but with Batman.
Hey, again, I would love me some Alien Isolation too. Don't get me wrong. But, we're also leaving out games that we still already know about. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Battletoads, even Cuphead. Cuphead's DLC, that's supposed to be pretty significant too. That's going to take up some time to show off.
I think they'll show Cuphead. I mean, a little sizzle reel for all the DLC would be
little stinger. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll show something off. Cuphead is still pretty live and kicking. I mean, it was just released on the Switch back in April.
Ori will likely hit the Switch day one as well.
We shall see about that. I wouldn't be. I believe, but I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if that was the case. What about Ninja Theory's rumor new game? Everybody's been talking about that. Do you guys think that we'll see Ninja Theory's new game, supposedly codenamed Bleeding Edge, there?
The B team. Yeah. I mean, keep in mind there's multiple teams there. So the Hellblade team.
Yeah, 4 teams, right?
Yeah, the Hellblade team. I heard that's not till like 2023 or some shit.
Ooh.
So you're looking at the B team, not the Hellblade team, and the game is a multiplayer focused kind of arena type game.
Yeah, the A team is what made Xbox bring that check.
Well, more or less. Well, I've seen a couple of their demos. One was I did see a bit of that arena game as well, the prototype there. Did anybody see their game Razor by chance? The sci-fi game that kind of reminded everybody about Anthem.
Tim Dog, didn't you help develop that game? Weren't you there?
Tim Dog, you know everything. Come on.
What's the question?
Timmy, spill that tea, baby.
Question.
No, did you see that other prototype game from a while back that Ninja Theory was developing, codename Razor? It was like a sci-fi game.
Yeah, I heard the story. I do think that this game is going to be derivative of that, or it's going to be part of that. That was the initial vision. It's going to be. I think it's going to be what people say the rumor is. It's a multiplayer in 6 different universes. Story. I don't know. Supposedly there is. Supposedly there isn't. I heard. So hopefully we get more. I'm just hopeful that it really looks good because. Obviously they're going to come in and they're going to have look, Microsoft made them do this is already starting. They're a single but that's not the case. This has been long in development.
I mean, the sad part is you're right, Tim. You're going to have people that are talking about how Microsoft forced them to make a multiplayer game,
right?
Even though they had been working on this for years.
Right, it's been a long time going. So, but the one good thing that I take from that is that I'm sure Microsoft, when they did look at them, that was part of the things that they were looking at, and they were impressed because, obviously Hellblade 2 was a big sell too. But I think it's gonna be a decent game. It's gonna be a good game. Will it be the AAA that will be good enough for us all? I don't think so. I think like I said, they need another AAA. Or something bigger than that to close the show or to satisfy the need for games for the gamers of Xbox.
We can't discount Gears either. I think Gears.
You have Halo too. That's the thing. We are discounting that we are we're having this discussion and we're just like acting like Halo and Gears is.
I mean, more so Gears because we're gonna get to play that.
You know what's funny? It's like we take it for granted. Gears and Halo.
We know that they're going to be there,
right?
Exactly.
They're going to be showing off Gears of War 5 like anything. Huge campaign.
Big open world game now. It's got customization apparently. Yeah. You can traverse. I mean, Centurion, you play Gears 4. Are you looking forward to Gears 5?
Oh God, yeah, I am totally looking forward to Gears 5. I think I'm even going to buy it and not just Game Pass it.
Wow. That's big.
Wow. Yeah, well, that's good.
Buy it.
What about, I mean, Halo Infinite, they'll probably show off some kind of a demo, a proper demo. Last year they showed off just the engine itself with some hints. I'm really looking forward to see what Halo Infinite is going to be about because it's huge, guys. It's going to be big. 343 are taking their time with this sucker. They've been hiring like crazy, gathering all kinds of talent over the past couple of years. As a huge Halo fan, I'm just dying to see what they've been cooking up.
Hey, you know what? You can ask Megatron. When we were there in March at the 343 Studios, they had a little pep in their step. Like, yeah, we got something cooking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had a little bit of swag. You know, the way they were walking and talking. You know what I mean? They seemed like they were pretty excited of what they were making.
Absolutely. One thing I will say about Gears 5 or Gears of War 5, whatever you want to call it, I am optimistic. I want it to be good from what we've all seen. You know, graphically it looks great, and there's some interesting points to take away from it. But I'm worried, or I'm cautious about. If you look at what happened with Halo going into Halo 5, you know, they changed a lot of stuff, and a lot of fans were not happy with the direction that they took with some characters and some aspects of the multiplayer and so on. Are any of you guys worried about Gears 5 because they really want to open it up more? Are you guys more interested to see where they take it?
Gears needs to change, right? Needs to.
Yeah. They did it wrong with Halo because in Halo 4, forgive me, I don't keep up with the lore outside of the games, but in Halo 4, there was no really big mention of Locke. And then Halo 5 comes around and all of a sudden here's this new character just dropped on you.
And he's a beast.
At least in Gears 4, they've already introduced the character of Kate. You know a little bit of her story, so it's not like she's just going to be dropped on you and you don't know where this character came from. They're almost like incentivizing you to want to know more about her.
Yeah,
it was as soon as Gears 4 ended, you're like, okay, now we know where the next one's going.
Well, the thing with Halo was it wasn't so much Locke, but it's just like, okay, they took us from this heavy narrative of Cortana and Chief in Halo 4. They dropped us into Halo 5, and it's like, okay, we got this new supposed Spartan with Locke, and then we also have this other team of Spartans, and then it's just like, okay, and then we spend the majority of the game with this new batch of Spartans, and it's just like, okay, well, I want to get on with the Chief's story.
Yeah, I didn't mind the extra. I didn't mind Locke being in the game. I just think the story could have been better. And I wanted to see more Master Chief because he's Halo.
Right.
As far as Gears is concerned, let them be different. Let them try new things. And again, the story's just got to be on point and make sense. You look at Twitter, people were more worried about the box art than they were the actual game. But I'm excited for like what Tim was saying. I don't want to discount Gears and Halo. To me, those are my two, and Forza 2. They're my biggest beloved. I love those franchises, and I'll never get enough of them. I don't care if we get it every year, then we get it every year, and I'll buy it every year. I love those franchises, but let them take a chance. Just have a good story, and I think everyone will be fine with Kate.
I mean, there's people that say another Gears, another Halo, and we get Gears and Halo once every 3 years, right?
Right, and people
or longer. And it's like there are more Uncharted, there are more God of War, there are more. There's a lot of franchises out there, a lot of people love, and you're excited for Uncharted every time it comes. You're excited for God of War every time it comes. It's the same for Gears and Halo. It just so happens that Halo has made more money than most of these other franchises put together. It's that big, so. They definitely need to change Gears 4 from Gears 4, which Rod had said they are doing 100%. He said that this is their first real Gears game. They had to play it safe in Gears 4 to prove they could make a Gears game. And with this one, they got more time. They got a bigger team. They've got the tech already built instead of building it from the ground up. And I think with the open world traversal, that ice sled, you can drive that in the desert, the ice. I'm hearing like all this stuff combines to really bring Gears forward. Even if you take aspects from other games, I wouldn't mind in Gears driving that ice sled up to a locust camp or a locust den and clearing that bitch out and getting some loot. I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
So, insert some modern things into Gears of War and bring it forward.
Absolutely. So guys, we know that as with all these shows, there's going to be big third-party support, especially since Xbox is going to be, well, the big show in town. What other like third-party games, like specifically even Japanese developers, do you think they'll be courting more of those?
Yes, I think From Software is going to be there. I think that game that's been rumored is going to be on the stage.
Oh, the game that supposedly the writer of the author of Game of Thrones
Yes, I think
is.
that's going to be on the stage.
Well, that would be exciting to see a From Software game on the Xbox stage. What about Capcom? Capcom had a very big splash last year with Devil May Cry 5 at Xbox's conference. Do you think we'll see another game from them?
They've been dropping some hints lately, right?
Yeah,
I
there's
wouldn't.
rumors, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Maybe a Street Fighter. Hopefully another edition of Street Fighter.
Resident Evil 3 remake.
That would be
If
cool.
it was Street Fighter, that'd be a pretty big deal. But I don't know. I don't see that. But it would be very cool.
Both consoles, crossplay. That would be huge.
I mean, Street Fighter 5 is how many years old now?
Yeah, I mean, probably
four years old or something. Yeah, so it's about time for another Street Fighter, and this time not exclusive, hopefully.
Well, that would be the whole thing.
Yeah, they had a half a game. It was exclusive to 0.5.
Right, but if that did come back and they said, "Hey, we're back with Xbox," that'd be something that would make a lot of fans happy. I remember when the Street Fighter 4 happened, and I remember the reactions. Phil said he would make it up to us. I remember that was asked on Twitter. But yeah, that was a blow. Like that was a shot to Xbox when that happened.
But they got their own fighter as well, Tim. And
Killer Instinct 2, correct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and everybody's wondering, are we going to get another Killer Instinct?
Well, it did very well for them. We know that. I mean, otherwise they wouldn't have greenlit like up to 3 seasons. I would assume that Killer Instinct will be back. It's just a matter of will they hold it back to highlight the next gen or talk about it now?
Right, probably new engine, maybe some different things that are involved. Who knows?
Absolutely. Now, I remember Capcom teasing that they were going to bring back an old IP, a lot of like a fan cherished game. I've brought up over the years Dino Crisis. That would be a cool thing to come back. Some people are talking about Onimusha. What would you guys like to see Capcom bring back besides Street Fighter, of course?
I wouldn't mind Dino Crisis if they did it like the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Possibly. Yeah, we could get, that would be nice. There was a lot of goodwill with Resident Evil 2 recently. I could see something like that. Some people are saying a Bionic Commando. That would be interesting. But yeah, it's cool that they're courting more Japanese developers on board. Guys, Tim sort of brought this up. Fable is one of the worst kept secrets in the industry. Do the rest of you guys feel like we will see some kind of a Fable trailer, even a teaser at this year's E3?
Really quick though, back to Capcom. I know this is going to be a long shot, but Steel Battalion, I wouldn't mind. That was an expensive ass game that came out, but I really wouldn't mind that coming out. That was fun. Maybe a less inexpensive version of a controller that they can come with that per se, but it was fun.
Well,
have you guys ever played Steel Battalion? No? Yes?
With the Kinect. No, I'm kidding.
Horrible.
That was a good one.
I'm familiar with it.
That was the good Steel Battalion. The other one with the real controls was trash.
Yeah.
I want Megasalt, man. I'm Steel Battalion. I don't know. I haven't played it, but Megasalt, I would definitely all about that.
Mechasalt or even a Mech Warrior, it needs to come to fruition. I would love to see them bring back some of these old cherished IP that really highlighted the original Xbox. And Mechasalt was definitely one of those games. It even highlighted Xbox Live in a lot of ways too. Mm-hmm. And I would just love to see it make a resurgence, whether it be a reboot, Mechasalt 3, whatever it may be. It's just the thing is, there's been a bunch of teases too about a mech game. whether it be from supposed insiders or even just Phil. Phil's dropped a couple of hints too that he likes mechs and that he does think mech games or Mech Assault could come back. Do you think there's something there, guys?
Possibly. We'll see. We'll see at E3. Hopefully.
I would love to. I would love maybe if Piranha was working on it, but I have to wait and see on that one. Too good to be true, in my opinion.
Yeah, like I put out a video last week about, hey, I was just doing some theory stuff, hey, maybe Piranha Games. They have been talking to back and forth with Microsoft over the past year about something. Maybe it could be MechWarrior 5 getting ported over to the Xbox.
They've met with Microsoft 6 times about both the MechWarrior 5 port and things they cannot discuss, quote unquote.
That's exactly correct. I mean, for me, I would like to think that, it could make sense. Like Piranha Games are located in Vancouver, right by the Coalition. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a studio buyout, to be honest with you. They're the perfect size as well. I think they're only like
the whole team on a Mech Assault reboot with some funds.
Oh yeah, you just gotta look at the size of the studio and what they specialize in, and the talent pool around them.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah, and they can increase the size of that. They've done it to all their studios, right? So they can definitely increase the size of Piranha Games and kind of get some like that's the thing too. Is as much as people might not have like We Happy Few, that studio is not finite. Talent comes and goes, right? We saw that Rare, and now we can see them getting some stuff back, and any studio can become great, and no studio is defined by a bad game. So we obviously they can pump out some great stuff.
Oh, We Happy Few, I tell you, I remember playing that in the preview. I was really excited for that day one, and I was just like, what the heck is that? It really tarnished my image of it, and then booted it up with like the official like release update, and I was like, oh man, like this is way better. Hey, I know it's like people are mixed on it, but I for what they were going for, I kind of enjoyed it. But it'd be nice if they went more like further into like a BioShock-esque game, but that's just me. Centurion, what else would you like to see at Microsoft's conference? Anything else?
I've been hearing that they're looking at Rare to blow the dust off of one of their IPs that they got stored in their library. The one that keeps floating around the most is Perfect Dark.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about that over the past few years. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. Ken Lobb, I think it was a few years back, talked about really wanting to bring back Joanna Dark, Perfect Dark. And actually, years back in like 2008, Rare was working on a Perfect Dark game, Perfect Dark Core. And I think it actually, what's his name? I think it's Chris Seaver, actually, the voice behind Conquer. He was like leaking all kinds of stuff, talking about the project, and it sounded pretty cool. But of course, Don Matrick and Microsoft had canned a whole bunch of Rare projects, unfortunately, like Cameo 2 and Perfect Dark Core. So that is very unfortunate. But we keep hearing about Perfect Dark popping up, guys, and
it checks a lot of boxes off for at least a company like Xbox or looking to want to make a game. Obviously, we're influenced by what's going on in the world today. So check one would be it's got a strong female role. On top of that, it involves sci-fi fantasy, which happens to be a big popular subject in gaming. It's got a heavy multiplayer influence. It can be, like, come on, I remember in the original Perfect Dark, playing multiplayer for hours with my friends. So there's definitely a lot there that would be relevant in using it as a title today.
I heard that their other IP, the other game they're working on, is more of a fantasy type thing. And if you really like Sea of Thieves, like there's going to be aspects about this game you're really going to like, and which doesn't scream Perfect Dark to me at all.
Well, I wasn't saying it was going to be Rare working on it. I wouldn't be surprised if because Rare has a huge library. I wouldn't be surprised if they took something that Rare was holding on to and gave it to a smaller department or a smaller developer to actually see what they could do with it.
Just
Like,
we'll contracted a team out.
Yeah, like we'll just, this is only a theory what I'm going to shoot out, but imagine taking a really fun platformer from back in the day, like Banjo-Kazooie, and giving it to Playful Games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a rumor
real
going
quick.
around about that.
I just dropped a code in the chat, so let me know who got the game and let me know what you think.
Thank you for that, chat.
By the way,
Southie dropping bombs in the chat.
I shared the post, but from your Twitter, there's no link like in your bio to the YouTube channel, so I don't know.
Well, yeah, I said you got 5 minutes, so you got to do. You know what I mean? I can't just hand it to you. You got to put in some work, baby.
Part of the adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah, point and click adventure, that's for sure, guys.
Delilah in the chat wants she wants to see Crimson Skies come back.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Phil knows that. He's been told since day one that Crimson Skies is wanted, and somebody wants to, them to make a new one. So I think that's a given.
I remember talking to Phil about that a couple of years back, like just over a tweet, and he says, we're not working on it, but we really should. So I think there is interest there, but
it sounds like a budget title though to me.
Yeah,
well, Game Pass game,
$25,
sure.
$30 experience, maybe, some kind of plane shooter.
Yeah, but it was just so much
definitely
fun
a Game Pass game.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Does anybody else have anything else to add about or predictions? Anything else you want to chime in?
That, I know we threw you off. I do want to see Fable definitely come back because I know I kind of cut you off. But yeah, Fable, I'm got my fingers crossed on that one. I really want to see that come back.
I've got all my fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah, it would be huge, I think.
Yeah, that would be my big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll scream Phil Dominus if you hear that. If you hear
Phil Dominus, nice.
Well, I think at the end we will see a teaser for a very beloved property, Sneakers 2.
Imagine a Pop Gear or a Fable Pop Gear was the thing.
Bring back Loco Cycle.
We rebought Twisted Pixel.
No, they're going to sign another deal with Burger King and come out with Sneak King 2.
Oh my gosh!
I think
still have those.
It's time for Uno 2. It's been long enough. We've
We're
playing Uno 1 forever.
Well, that's great. Well, moving on, guys. That was a great chat, and either way, I think we're going to have a pretty exciting E3 to look forward to. It's only a week away, actually under a week now, because it's next Sunday, the Xbox conference. And I can't wait. Southie, Tim Dog, Megatron, you guys are going to be there. I'm super jealous. And
I'm so excited to get to hang out with the Iron Lord. Shout out to them. Shout out to GRG Podcast and Lamikia's 108 Dragons TV and Grown Woman Gaming. And it's going to be a great time, man. And I can't wait to see those guys. They're like family. Just hanging out with the community, and I'm excited. I wish you were coming, Invader and Dealer, but hopefully, definitely next year.
But you know what? Colt will be in your stead, Dealer, so we'll be all right. We're gonna get him drunk.
I'm not going this year. I'll probably go next year, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning.
Tim was like, "Why aren't you going?" He's like, "I can do that." Like
I was trying to get you to go in freaking January. Like,
yeah, I mean, I just told you.
Dealer's like, I'm going to Paris.
Especially back then.
Yeah.
Especially back then, I just didn't really have a desire, right? Because I could just chill and do my thing and see everything in 4K, So I didn't really care, but I'm like, man, I should go and just do it next year. So I probably will.
Once you see it, once you just see the hysteria of it and the parties and all that, you'll be like,
hey, honestly, 4K doesn't do it justice, my man.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be at the Xbox conference, watching the games, down in some Mountain Dew and whiskey, all the good stuff.
Is that what you do, Invader? Mountain Dew and whiskey?
Nice. Mountain Dew and whiskey.
Yeah.
And maple syrup.
Some game fuel there.
Try that one.
Mountain Dew and whiskey.
Yeah.
That's a combination right there.
No, I've never done
got that game yet, huh?
That's a pretty good combination. Thinking about it, like, it's probably weird, but
I'm going to try it. That's going to be the first drink I have when that plane sets down on that tarmac. I'm going to get out to the airport and go to the bar and get me a Mountain Dew and whiskey.
Can you take a photo of the bartender's face when you ask him for
dude,
it?
I'm gonna do it just for you, man. Just for coming on. I'm doing it.
He tells you this is like the fourth one I've made today of these. Weird.
Yeah, why is everybody calling this the Invader special? Oh.
Yeah.
But
Give me the Invader. What's that? Mountain Dew whiskey.
You don't want to know. Just
hey,
drink this.
it's green and it's good. What can I say? No. Moving on, guys, to what we've been playing. Just the games we've been playing over the past week or so. Centurion, what have you been dabbling in?
Well, I finally knocked Rage 2 out of the park, and I got back into playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey so I can continue putting more of my life into trying to find the end game.
Nice.
How is Rage 2, by the way?
It's definitely fun. I had a blast. I would say it's mindless fun because, you're just going around, just blowing everything up and tearing up the world. Once you kind of go and tear up the entire world and you feel like doing the story missions, you can clean out the story missions fairly quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. Dealer, what have you been playing? I know last week me and Megatron and you got into a bit of Sea of Thieves there. What else have you been playing?
Smashed Rage 2, beat a Plague's Tale. Yeah, I mean, my gamer card's open as well, unlike some people in this community for that exact reason. But Rage 2 is a lot of fun. If you like the mindless, fast action of Doom or Wolfenstein combat, but with a bit of narrative and some open world exploration and stuff, Rage 2 is your ticket, man. It's kind of like Mad Max and Doom combined, and that 60 FPS is phenomenal. So, yeah, it was a great game. A Plague's Tale, a little slower paced. Pretty long game. If you like stealth, Plague's Tale is quality. It's actually a really quality game. And Asobo is a rumored studio for acquisition, but they just signed another contract with Focus Home Interactive. So I'm not sure if that's happening, but it's quality as well.
Yeah, that title really caught my eye. I've been hearing mixed things about it. I mean, it's a beautiful game, don't get me wrong, but it's heavily focused on stealth, correct?
It is. They do mix in some other things with the rats and the slingshots and all that stuff. But I'm not really a stealth guy, and I managed to find, it's quality. It's good.
All right. I may have to check that out.
I just dropped the code again. I put 2 question marks in it. I guess it's a little too hard, so I'm only 1 question mark. So hurry up and get it already.
Get on that, guys, in the
Get
chat.
her done.
Get her done. Tim Dog, what have you been playing the past week?
I've been playing Google Hangouts, Discord, Skype.
You mean Google Stadia?
Yeah, no, I've been very, very busy.
Playing Google Hangouts.
I pretty much have been on like 6 podcasts, literally. I got much to play. Last time I played was when we were talking pre-show on Rush, and what was it?
Farming.
Farming.
Yeah, farm with me.
It's not a bad game. It just wasn't. It wasn't that type of game for that night.
Yeah.
No. I played that, and I've also played NBA 2K. 19. I customized my team, but yeah, it's been a very hectic week. I mean, everything is so amped up. My DMs are literally 50 to 60 a day. With
Tim, you're gonna be shot before you even get on the damn airplane,
yeah,
brother.
No,
You need to sleep, man.
You make sure you take the day off. I'm taking the day off before.
I got my the RDX on Tuesday. That's my podcast, but I'm doing nothing more. I'm now gonna really start to take it easy and get ready for the weekend. But yeah,
have your meditation and green tea and just chill.
Yes, no, it's been hectic, and like I said, that was the last time we played. But hopefully get a little gaming in this week and get ready for E3. This is the time of year that we all love. So it is what it is.
Yeah, don't sound too enthusiastic there, Tim.
Yeah,
we'll get the coffee brewing for you. Don't worry. All right, Megatron, what have you been playing?
Yeah, it was the same as everyone else. I had to we had the small amount of time we played with not Gears of War. We played Sea of Thieves, which was we had more time to play it, but I went on the same night and played Onrush and what was the farming game? Whatever the hell the name was called, Farm Valley Farm something. And that was it. That's what I did. I didn't have time to play anything during the week because of work and preparation for E3. And yeah, so I kind of didn't have too much time to play. But something tonight I'll be playing. But
All right,
that's
all right. I'll admit I got into a few games this past week besides Sea of Thieves. I was playing a heck of a lot of Saints Row 4 Re-elected before it got removed from Game Pass. Kind of a wacky game there. I mean, the Saints Row games are always pretty crazy, but this one just really amps it up with like superpowers and whatnot. Really fun. It's just, I don't know. I think they need to maybe take it back a little bit.
Saints Row 3 was hard to beat. I think they were at the pinnacle. That was the best one ever.
It was good. It was good. I got that too, actually, and with all the DLC. But even then, it was kind of like guys, with the with the bats, you know what I'm talking about. It was kind of getting a little too out of hand at some points. Also, I was playing through Halo 3 and 4 with a buddy of mine, and it's amazing, guys, when you go through Halo. It's like it's kind of like it's that game you keep going back to. It's just such a good feeling. Back in the day. And what else? Oh, and I've been playing a lot of World of Warships. It's surprisingly addictive for a free preview game. I've been really enjoying it. Pretty good controls, and it looks pretty good too. But yeah, well, anyways, guys, with that comes an end to our show. And hey, it was a really fantastic show, to say the least. And a big shout out to everyone in the chat for participating, and also to everyone who has been listening in. People like L Boogie, Delilah HD, Shizno Elite, Peter Young, Jago, all kinds of great people here. Thank you guys for tuning in to Geeky Nerd, Brian Wood, and so forth. And yeah, guys, it was a great time. Remember, guys, if you haven't already, definitely like the video and share it out to get the word out about TXR onto the digital streets. And yeah, now on to our outros. Dealer, my man, it was such a pleasure having you on here, my friend, and always, it was great to have your input on these topics. You're pretty popular, but where can people find you, bud?
Honestly, they're probably wondering where they can find you. Your YouTube channel's not linked to your Twitter, Invader. What the hell?
Actually, yeah, it is.
Where at? I couldn't find it.
Well, my YouTube channel is linked to my Twitter, but
not yours. I'm talking about TXR fraud.
Well, we're gonna have to.
Exposed.
I mean, I shared it and said join us live, but I've got messages like the YouTube channel's not linked to the TXR Twitter. Maybe they didn't find it. I didn't really look a whole lot, but at the end of the day, I'm here to kind of help you guys and talk games with you guys, and if same thing I said on Iron Lords, like but if you do want to go and check out my stuff, Dealer Gaming on YouTube, at Dealer_Gaming on Twitter, I space Dealer space I on Xbox Live, and I'm just looking forward to the show, man. Me and Tim are gonna have a massive RDX on Tuesday. I know we're gonna have Brad Sams on for sure already with the rest of the panel, and we're gonna talk about all of the latest, and including maybe some inside stuff that we can figure out. And
I'll be checking that out. Nice.
Say what?
I can't wait to check that out. I'm looking forward to it.
Brad's a cool guy, for sure. But other than that, man, I guess after this, I'm gonna go spend 5-6 hours building a video for tomorrow.
Good stuff, Dealer. Good stuff.
Thanks for coming on, Dealer. Appreciate it. Man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be happy to have you on again at some point, man. You're more than welcome to come on. Centurion, again, it was great having you back on, my friend. Where can everyone find your content?
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Legion of Gamer. It's 3 words. You can also find me on Twitter at Centurion1307. I also run a blog site called legionofgamer.com. And I was also recently invited to be a creator for BG4GHub.com, which is actually ran by a few of the creators in this community, Masked Mayhem, Stubbs Gaming, UK Dazarus, and a couple other guys. They're just a really group of amazing guys that are wanting to change how we receive our information as gamers, and they asked me to be a part of it and put that also with you guys. I really appreciate you guys having me here. I haven't been part of the creation community very long, but I'm just totally blown away how everybody has brought me into the fold and treated me like a friend and shown me things. I'm very grateful to Dealer. I've been tweeting him here and there, and he has shown me the way and critiqued my work for me and told me where I'm screwing up. And I
you
really
so fast, Padawan.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Lyle HD says, "Are women allowed on this show?" Of course they aren't.
Right? No.
I was laughing.
Delilah, shut up, Delilah.
Southbound said, "Nope."
Shut up.
Of course
Delilah,
they are,
you're
Delilah.
something else.
Of course they are.
Very funny.
But yeah, sorry to ramble. Just really thank you for having me here, guys. It's been a blast, and it's been fun talking games with you guys and joking around.
Thank you for coming, my friend. It was awesome having you.
Yeah, always great having you on, Centurion. Beastfire Tim Dog, the Mega Xbox fan. Where can the fans follow your antics at?
They can follow me on Twitter, Beastfire Tim Dog. I'm also on this podcast Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. RDX on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I'd like to say thank you for Dealer and Centurion for coming on. The show is really great today. And just ready to go. This is this time of year. Let's get ready.
E3, baby, E3.
Let's go.
Exactly, guys. It's a wonderful time of the year, like everyone's suggesting here. And Southbound saying E3. Where can everyone follow your E3 adventures?
It's beginning to look a lot like E3. Oh, hey, man. You can find me at Twitter. On Twitter.
Scary.
At Southbound 110. What? Scary? Was that look kooky a little bit? Like, like little kids like laughing and giggling and shit?
Yeah.
Nah, but you can hit me up on Twitter, Southbound 110, or you can hit me up on Xbox, Southbound 110, Southbound space 110. Holla at your boy. Come talk to me. Don't be shy. I'm not scary. It's okay. I love
Except for when he
everybody.
sings.
Next to a windowless van.
Unless he sings, then of course, then I can understand why you'd be a little scared. But
Come on, Megatron. I'm a nice guy. I
of
swear.
course, yeah,
I swear.
definitely. Oh, definitely.
Natron.
I swear.
And now we have South's greatest Christmas hits album coming out.
That's right.
Just don't start singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Radar.
Oh man.
Did you just scream T-Pain?
Yeah.
Southbound auto tunes. Go ahead.
Man, screw you guys. I'm going home.
Megatron, where can people follow your own E3 adventures?
Oh man, as always, Twitter. I'll be posting up some pictures from E3. Megatron _1975, and hit me up as always on Xbox Live. Megatron1 is my gamer tag. That's it.
All right. Well, of course, guys, I'm Invader. You can follow me on YouTube at Invader Gaming, and of course on Twitter, I'm very active there at Invader_1886. And like I was saying, I will not be at E3, but hey, you know what? These guys are gonna have a blast, and I'm just really excited for what we're gonna find out, what's in store for Xbox and a bunch of the other conferences and shows there. It's a good time, guys. It's a fun time. And yeah, it's been a great show. Thank you all for joining in. And
don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Por favor.
Yeah.
Got that right.
Please.
All right, guys. It's been a great show. Thank you all for coming out, and peace out.
Mountain Dew and whiskey, baby.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew whiskey.
whiskey and rye.